last time. Denver Broncos. My lot of you, no commercials, no bullshit. I had a guy who wanted to remain unidentified. He came up on a scooter. He said he didn't exist, but he handed me the Denver Bronco schedule. And I took a look at it, and it just says 13-3 all over it. 13-3. Yeah, or no, 13-4. Excuse me. I forgot we got one more game. Yeah, it has 13 wins all over it, guaranteed. You know why, right? We got Dulcich. We got Dulcich. Yeah, that's why. That was such a needed pick. There's just no way that they can't. 5 losses tops. 5 losses tops. I listen to everything Oakley Dokley Stokely says on his radio show, and bring on the toughest team right away. Bring them on. Bring them on. All right, there's some bullshit there. So when you see this schedule, are you going to sit here and blow smoke up everybody's ass and guarantee? I will say this: the more cautious people, the propagandists out there, they're already trying to sell 9 wins as a major, victory. It's 9 wins is like the Super Bowl.
Well, let me be the bear for the Bronco fans.
You gotta say that. You gotta say that again. You broke up.
I'm gonna be the bear bad Bronco fans.
Yeah, you keep breaking up. You're gonna be the bearer of bad news for the Bronco fans.
Correct.
Yeah, you're always like that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. You're not breaking up, man.
Okay, my apologies. I don't know what I'm talking about. But again, with the I'm going to be the bearer of bad news for the Denver Broncos fans. This team is not going to go. They're not going to win 13 games. There's just no way in heck they're going to win 13 games. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news because number one, you want to talk about a player personnel centric schedule. I mean, you got to be freaking kidding me. We have a stretch there. Even the first half schedule, we were talking about it before we got on. You got San Francisco, Las Vegas, and the Colts back to back there. You got to be kidding me. And then you got to go to the Chargers, or you got to play at home with the Chargers. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Like, the NFL has 5 primetime games for us, I believe. 5. There's 5. I guarantee you that we are going to get embarrassed half of that. Because you know why? Because this Denver Broncos organization sucks. And I want to call some people out here because we got shit from our last video about Greg Dulcich, the tight end out of UCLA, who is not Rob Gronkowski 2.0, who is not George Kittle 2.0, who is not Travis Kelce 2.0, okay? I just want to put pause to everybody's excitement, and especially these dumbass morons that I have to engage with on this fucking channel that don't know shit about football and say they come on here and they know about football. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the reality that's going to smack you in the face. The Denver Broncos are not a Super Bowl caliber team. I know that, it hurts. It hurts. It's going to hurt. But at the end of the day, Greg Dulcich isn't going to be the one that's going to turn the Denver Broncos around, okay? I mean, you have a guy in John fucking Elway who thinks that you guys are stupid, who thinks that you guys are stupid, and me and him got so much shit going on for 2 years now, okay? Longer for him because he's been doing this longer. But ever since I come on, we've gotten so much shit. Rico, you fucking moron. You sit there and tell me that John Elway doesn't fucking exist when I have to see on Denver Broncos' own media platform, mind you, him riding on a goddamn scooter, dropping the schedule and saying, "Let's ride." Like, really? Like, that's the guy. Oh, he doesn't exist. He's not a part of the organization. He is in Hawaii drinking fucking tequilas and fucking having a good old time. No, he's in the goddamn organization, you fucking idiots. Go ahead. Fuck.
Well, I just would like Mike Kliss to ask the question.
fucking question. It's not just Mike Kliss. How about we get real journalism here and ask the fucking question? Stop being fucking pussies.
Ask the question like right out of Office Space. Can you tell us exactly what it is you do? No, nobody wants to actually ask that question. I just made a video with Russell Wilson, and it loops. Hey boss. Hey boss. He didn't say, hey consultant guy that doesn't have any influence. Hey boss. So there you go. But it looks like he put another onion layer in front of him.
Yeah. To all the people that said that John Elway doesn't exist, all you people can shove it. And I don't want to hear from you people anymore, because you guys have been proven wrong the past 2 years that you sit there and tell the fans, and then you sit there and mind fuck the fans saying that John Elway doesn't exist. I don't want to hear from any of you people now. You guys can go do this on another platform. I don't really give a shit. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing that John Elway doesn't exist. Okay, I know we have to talk about the schedule and this Greg Dulcich bullshit and Jerry fucking Judy. We'll get into him later. I have a lot to say about this dumb fuck. But again, I don't care. I don't care. Whoever says that John Elway doesn't exist, you guys you're just mentally fucking mind fucked, because he does exist. And it's proven he thinks, you know what? He thinks he is so egotistical that he will do that shit. And he thinks you guys are so fucking stupid. And I'm talking to the fans and Dove Valley itself. He thinks you guys are so fucking stupid. He doesn't give a shit. And he'll ride on a goddamn scooter and say, let's ride. I'm going to drop the schedule in the hallway. Ha ha ha. I own this shit. Get the fuck out of here, Elway. Get the fuck out of the organization. I'm sick and
I can tell you that this organization, has spent way too much time on PR. It spends way entirely too much on PR and not enough on actually putting a team to be feared together. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Jerry Judy and Elway pick? When somebody named Vic Fangio wanted, who did they want? He didn't want Judy. He wanted, I thought it was a linebacker at the time.
Zaven Collins?
No, I thought, was it Zay? I thought it was before that draft. I thought it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, he couldn't get what he wanted. He couldn't get what
he wanted. Of course he couldn't get it. Is that a shocker? Is that a shocker?
I thought it was the linebacker that went to the Raiders, if I remember right.
Oh! I think it was Patrick Queen he wanted from LSU. He went to the Ravens. Oh, shocker! He went to the fucking Ravens.
Yeah, I can't remember right now. It's just, all I'm just saying is that's not the pick that Fangio wanted. So I thought it was Reggie White.
You don't know what you're talking about. You can't get names right.
I know. Well, I do get the analogy right. Unfortunately, that's the problem too, is that you have a lot of other channels out there. They can get names right. They can, whip names off their tongue like they're, second nature to them, but they can't give you an honest analogy. And I want to explain one thing here too, is that when I was listening to everybody flapping their gums when this schedule came out, nobody wants to explain the losses that they had last season. They don't even want to broach it. Right now, the Denver Bronco, this media machine, this propaganda machine that's spilled over to the national level in order to pump up games, to overhype games that the Broncos are going to be in. It's given the teams like the Raiders ammunition, because they're like confused as to, well, what did we do? What did we actually prove to the rest of the world when it came to the Denver Broncos?
Well, so, they beat them twice last year. So
yes. So and the thing is, nobody wants to discuss how they got beat. No, this is beyond the quarterback position. That's the key. Bronco fans don't want to actually pop the hood and look at the pieces, pick them up. They want to play games. And this whole idea that they're all of a sudden the Rams, and there's even in sports, even in the sports talk radio, in some of these circles, not even they're able to say those kind of things that they're not going far enough in saying that, promising the seventh year in a row now, empty promises. Now they're promising the universe. They were promising the moon, and I said they couldn't hit the treetops. So a lot of these people just want to be lied to constantly. And when this thing goes south, we'll just say, if this thing goes south, we are going to cut all of you off because you don't deserve a voice. Now, if you're proven right, and the Broncos are this playoff machine, Super Bowl machine that you're claiming it is because of Dolich, players like that, it's going to revolutionize the Broncos. Well, we were told this is going to be Jerry Jeudy's another breakout year, another empty promise. But we'll just say, if you're right, I'll let everybody come and attack us. But if you're wrong, I'm not even going to give you the time of day to apologize, because quite frankly, how many seasons do you need to be lied to? How gullible do you have to be? This is actually a serious channel for analogy, looking at the parts, analyzing. We're not going to put up with nonsense from people that get it wrong year after year after year after year. So I'm very confident that the Broncos aren't going to disappoint us. We kind of know where they're going. Yeah, I just want to talk really briefly about how the Broncos did defensively in the last season. The Raiders shellacked them in the first game. Nobody wants to talk about that. It was Justin Simmons as usual getting his ass beat. Darby was no good in that game. Surtain is just kind of getting started. The middle in the linebacking core was getting picked on as usual. And I think what happened as the year went on, I think Fangio getting that pick from the Rams, Kenny, and Browning together, and getting that middle short up, I think they were able to. It was a lot tougher than it was during the Ravens, those early campaigns. And the fact that this coaching staff would tear that all down, and we're skeptical that they're even going to use Burrito in that pass coverage capacity. They got rid of Bryce Callahan. I think that they were able to shore that up a bit. Now they've just tore all that back down. I just like stepping backwards again. I just see this team being very, very beatable in the middle. I think their first game is going to be extremely tough for them to win. And it's not. And I want to say one other thing. You sent me. It was a short video on Denver Bronco fans' delusion in the front office of Denver being delusion, but it got into Russell Wilson. It's in my opinion, this has less to do with Russell Wilson than it does with the rest of the team. It's the rest of the team that I have a real problem with. The lines, maybe I don't know how they're going to configure the defensive front, with the new picks that they got. Obviously the linebacking is a disaster in coverage for sure. No Bryce Callahan, so their slot's they're going to be vulnerable there. So I see just in their first game, if I was Drew Lock, I'd be licking my chops going up against this defense. I don't even think that I really have to worry about, being pressured all that much. What do you think?
Well, number one, you were talking about the schedule, okay? And this will be going into a bigger point I have. The Denver Broncos are one of those teams that thinks that they are a quarterback away. And again, I want to go back to what you were saying to the people you're going to cut them off. I completely agree with you because when it comes to the Denver Broncos, I am sick and tired of hearing the same old PR bullshit for the past 6 to 7 years that is just getting out of control. I mean, these fans are so fucking toxic that you can't even have a normal conversation with them. You talk about film, you talk about building this team correctly. They think you're fucking on planet Neptune. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like when I talk, film doesn't matter. Film doesn't matter. Then why do scouts use film? Like, are you guys fucking retarded? Like, I'm sorry, but I hate being this way, but it's so frustrating because I put hours upon hours upon hours of film to prove to people like, hey, this is why this player is going to be better in this system. Why this player is going to be better as a 3-tech than a nose tackle. All the above is a 1 and 2 gap player. But again, circling back to the schedule, you do realize that when it comes to this schedule, this is going to be one of the toughest schedules in the league. Oh my God! Yeah, what a shocker, right? Yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl.
No. The bubble promised. They promised that this is an easy schedule. Everybody in the bubble, that echo machine going around, they promised this was an easy schedule. Then Oakley Dokley Stokely, bring the toughest team in. Bring in the toughest team.
Do you not even that middle half of the schedule, but the back half of that schedule? Oh my God! I mean, this isn't going to be a walk in the park the first 4 games either, like last year, and we had a tough time beating those teams as well. I mean, these weren't slobber knockers. Yeah, we held the Jets to no points. Awesome. It's the fucking Jets. Okay? But again, the Denver Broncos are not constructed to be a Super Bowl caliber team. And I got into it with Freddie Sims about offense and defensive line importance. Okay? And this is how stupid these people are. Okay? I'm sorry. Hold your horses. Buckle in your seatbelts here because it's going to be bumpy for these fucking idiot fans in Dove Valley. But again, I didn't say that a quarterback isn't important. But to me, as a NFL analysis and film junkie, the quarterback is not the most important aspect of a team. The most important aspect of a team that gets you far in today's NFL, offensive line, defensive line, and coverage linebacking. Because you know why? Because the game is predicating towards the middle of the field. Okay? You moved Baron Browning to outside linebacker. What the fuck are you doing at Dove Valley? You idiotic dumbasses. You want to, and then I have to hear from Wanu people, his posse, that, oh, well, there's film out there of him playing outside linebacker in college. Yeah, highlight reels. I'm not looking at fucking highlight reels.
Well, okay? we had a hard time even locating anything.
I know. I looked for hours looking for that film. Okay, now this is why those 3 aspects are important to me, because you have the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, the Colts, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Los Angeles Rams, and again, we've seen it in the past 2 Super Bowls. Who took over the game as the game went on? Was it the quarterback or was it the offense and defensive lines? Please, in the coverage linebacking. Who was the driving force the second half of that game of this past Super Bowl? That defensive line for the Rams, right? They were making Joe Burrow running for his life with Aaron Donald, A'Shawn Robinson, all the guys in the PJ Gaines in the middle of that defense, and the coverage linebacking for the Rams. They're not the best coverage linebackers, but they're pretty damn solid. Okay, they're better than what we have in Denver because you move Baron Browning outside because you're fucking stupid. And then the cherry on top. I don't understand this notion too that comes to this. Why do players like Jerry Jeudy, Draymond Jones, Justin Simmons, and Garrett Bowles get a pass, but guys like Bryce Callahan, Kenny Young, Baron Browning, and Noah Fant get shit on because Because why? Because they're not your type of players. Justin Simmons fucking sucks. Garrett Bowles sucks. Jerry Jeudy, I said from the fucking beginning, you should have traded up and got Tristan Wirfs. Okay? Tristan Wirfs is already in his third year an all-pro right tackle. Okay? But what did you have to do, Elway? You had to go out and get a fucking receiver in Jerry Jeudy, who to me was not even in my top 2 wide receivers in that class. It was CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. Okay, even Chase Claypool, the guy who was picked later, is a better receiver than Jerry Jeudy. Draymond Jones, don't even get me fucking started because he's in no man's land half the time, and I can't see what he's doing because he can't get the push up the middle. Okay, you are nowhere close. You didn't upgrade the offensive line. You didn't upgrade it. You didn't upgrade the defensive line outside of DJ Jones and some of the draft picks. Mike Purcell's still there, who has a $4 million cap hit where you can cut him and save $4 million, and he's over the hill. So moves like that are not equivalent to a Super Bowl caliber team. You need player personnel on the offense and defensive line and special teams. Don't even get me started with special teams. That you don't have a player development centric culture in Denver. All you have is a PR fed team. That's all you have.
Doing some research while I'm letting you rant on.
Well, go ahead.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so
film doesn't matter. Are you fucking kidding me? If film doesn't matter, then why do scouts use film as the ultimate testing grid?
Well, you keep bringing up scouts, but I'm look throughout the season. You have coordinators,
game planning,
offense, defense, and then you have the position coaches. They're all using film. So that was probably
game plan next week's game against that certain team and who they played the week before. You do realize, great point. Actually, great point. You do realize that offense, defense coordinators, and positional coaches on an NFL team use the film to make game plans against their opponent for that week and the next week. You do realize that, right? Or is it just highlight reels for you people?
They have no idea what.
They have no fucking idea.
They have no idea what to do with film. It's beyond them. Other than the one thing I noticed how film's used in fandom is there's people that like to go in and show route trees. That's about the extent of film. They're not really taking things apart like you. Taking it apart, piece by piece like you, and dialing into that right down to the player. Strengths. I mean, I'm just listening to a guy going on about the yell. Oh, it's not doing the things you say, and I don't. It's just. I just said good luck with that yell pick, by the way. Good luck with that one. So yeah, there's just a lot of cluelessness out there. And once this thing starts imploding, these people aren't going to be tolerated anymore because I'm going to let them go to their platforms and we can just leave that behind. Because I mean, I can't. I'm tolerating it for the 7th season in a row right now, but I can't tolerate it after that. I wanted to also explain that I was listening to the great Sandy Clef talking about the Raiders, talking about they have edge rushers, great edge rushers, but what he doesn't understand is what made those edge rushers great. You wanted Solomon Thomas, for instance. They bolstered their interior, and that fed. We saw, especially with the Bronco game, the first one, that push up the middle, and it fed the edges. You want to feed the edges. You won't hear anybody talk about feeding the edges. Only people that watch film, this is getting back to the film analogy, understand that in today's NFL, especially like when you saw the Tampa Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl, this latest Super Bowl, You see that push up the middle, the quarterback getting flushed to the edges, and your statisticians will only register the activity of the edges, but not the context behind what those edges did, how they got where they how they got to the quarterback, or how the quarterback got flushed out to them. They don't put in the context too of taking the first read away, which played into maybe a sack or a pressure. Okay, and we see this on film all the time, but nobody wants to watch it. They just want to sit there and talk fantasy football all day because that's really all they know. They don't. They know Madden, they know stats, but they don't know anything about context. So I see game number 1 with the Broncos to be extremely tough for them. It's going to be, I think, a miracle for them to pull that out. The only upside is I don't know what defensive upgrades that Carroll has made in this particular game with the Seahawks, because that was kind of an Achilles with them when they had Russell Wilson's contract they had to deal with. I do know they made some moves there. I have a lot more confidence with Drew Lock's offensive line than our defensive line. I know that he's going to have easy throws in the middle of that field without a problem, and Drew Lock is capable enough. The people in the bubble want to probably talk about that Drew Lock is some sort of hopeless case. He's very, very capable of chewing this defense up especially with these receivers. I mean, his receivers are much better than the Denver Broncos receivers, who, in my opinion, still have to prove themselves. They got paid, but that doesn't make them better receivers. I just was listening to somebody talking about the Broncos receivers, saying that while the Denver Bronco front office likes to pat itself on the back about the receivers, they really haven't done anything compared to the rest of the league. They're like bottom feeders. And we showed film and explained why that is. We didn't just making claims. We showed these receivers letting up, taking off. Now, I will say this, Cortland Sutton was coming back off of an injury, and I have to take that under consideration. But Patrick didn't have an excuse. Hamler was injured, so he wasn't even on the field. Judy has absolutely no excuse. He just evaporated. So this claim about the Broncos having when there's no reality going on here. There's just feel good crap. And I want to distance myself from that and those people. I just want to get away from there. And you're, like you said, toxicity. Their toxicity. When this thing goes south again, it's not going to, in my opinion, it's not going to be a Russell Wilson issue. I don't want to hear about burying another quarterback when, what I'm going to demand when this thing's all said and done, if this thing implodes, that the whole front office gets cleared out. The whole media department gets cleared out. Don't pay these jokers anymore. Force them to be critical. They're not getting paid. Don't even give them a press pass. Force them to be critical for a change. Coaching staff may have to, like I said, this could end up being the most flammable coaching staff in this next couple of years, league-wide, if this thing goes south. I haven't seen any that. I haven't had. They want to go on about the Dulcich pick, but nobody has. I typed in there. I said, explain to me this pick. Explain why this pick was needed. And I said, you're saying that this guy's going to be the next Kelsey. How is he going to even get the playing time? Albert O is the starting guy. Schobert is more versatile than this guy. How is this number 3, best case scenario, how is it number 3 tight end? I just don't get the pick when you had so many other needs that needed to be taken care of. Totally ignored once again. Because at the end of the day, what they really wanted was a receiver. That's really what they wanted. But this one was in the form of a tight end. And then they all wanted to argue with me that, he's not just a receiver, but he is. But he is. It's just I got to get away from the stupidity. I just got to. It makes no sense. It made no sense whatsoever.
Well, that's with every move the Denver Broncos make is no sense. I am so sick and tired of these platforms in Dove Valley and these toxic fans that sit here and it's not just the sheer fact that they say that Greg Dulcich is this all-world tight end. It's the sheer fact that I've been hearing this with certain players over the past 6 to 7 years that have turned out to be dog shit. Okay? Justin Simmons is a perfect example of that. Garrett Bowles is a great example. Jerry Jeudy's a great example of that. I mean, you want to talk about this receiving core and how people outside the bubble view this as a bottom feeding unit. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Jerry Jeudy fucking sucks. I do not like. I just don't like Jerry Jeudy. I just don't like him because I want to explain to you why. He is such a problem child that is just the perfect Elway fucking pick. I mean, it is just you could have got a better center in that draft. You could have got a better offensive lineman. The Denver Broncos haven't drafted an offensive tackle since 2017 in Garrett Bowles. And again, don't give me that fucking shit that our offensive line is great when I have to see consistently over the past 7 years these offensive line getting quarterbacks killed left and right. It's not the quarterback, it's the offensive line and who is drafting these fucking players and John Elway who's getting these that quarterback killed, okay? You had to run, okay, and I was watching your Drew Lock setting the record straight video. Excellent video because it touched on points that no other media platform is going to touch on. Is what did they say coming in? He is a project, correct? A 3-year.
Oh yeah. Well, that when they drafted him, that's
Yeah.
what they said. You have to understand this is a 3-year project with this guy.
And then what did they do? They pulled the rug. They pulled the system out of Drew Lock that fit him so fucking perfectly. And that bootleg, get him outside the pocket, set back, throw the football like Gary Kubiak, Mike Munchak, Rich Scangarello type offense. Okay, and then what else did you do? Okay, you got Phil Lindsay, a guy that was considerably one of the best running backs you've had since Clinton Portis. And what did you fucking do? You
ran him
brought
out of town.
you brought in Melvin fucking Gordon. Not just on a 2-year deal. Then he went back again with his fumbleitis issues, who is a perfect Elway player. Don't give me that fucking shit that they wanted Melvin Gordon all along. Because you people said the same thing about Randy fucking Gregory, and you guys weren't even on that motherfucker when he was coming in, when he was a free agent. Because all you people were talking about was Chandler Jones and Von Miller. And you know what? I was the person on the curb getting kicked out of these fucking, and I don't want to be a part of these people, but me and you, and I was the only person on the curb getting so pissed because Sheldon Joseph Day was going to the Chargers, Ashawn Robinson, all these other defensive linemen that I wanted, Solomon Thomas, all those guys I wanted those fucking players. And what did you do, Elway? You wanted to go after a fucking edge. Not just some free agents to be also in the draft when you could have got Travis Jones with that second round pick, who's going to be a stud with the Ravens.
I know. I know. They can't. They're so out of touch. I mean, I'm not. They are very out of touch.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut these people off completely. You're right. I'm done with these people because you know what? With the sheer fact that I have to hear from people that film doesn't matter, to me, you're just a fucking idiot because that is just the nail in the coffin for me. That how am I going to respond to a dumbass who doesn't see in terms of player development? They all see the Madden 22 rating system and the stat system that Sandy Clough provides them and fucking runs with it. Okay. And again, I'm not here attacking people's credentials, but again, we have to sit here and ask ourselves, where's the objective journalism that used to be run in that organization under Pat Bowlen? There was objective journalism in that fucking organization under Pat Bowlen. And then ever since Elway took over that fucking organization, it's been nothing but hype machine and bullshit.
Chandler Jones made more sense. I mean, at least that made some sense than the
Yeah,
Grady pick.
but again, in terms of player personnel development, would you rather go after a younger version, a 27-year-old Sheldon Joseph Day, or a 30? How old is Chandler Jones? A 30, a
Yeah, well,
32?
but that's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm just trying to say that the point I'm trying to make is they can't even get the Chandler Jones. Yeah, it's better. Day would be better, but they can't even get the Chandler Jones right.
Because Chandler Jones is your prototypical 3-4
Oh,
standing.
yes.
And Randy Gregory is your prototypical 4-3 hand in the dirt outside linebacker 5 tech. That's
And
what he is.
then we got to hear this echo machine
Come on,
tell you that that 3-4-4-3 doesn't make any kind of difference whatsoever. I mean, where do you people come from exactly? You just like, oh, good. And then they don't even know what defensive system we even run.
Well, again, this applies to the Bryce Callahan thing? Like, you go after a version in Kawhi Williams who has completely fallen off. I did film review on him. Bryce Callahan goes to the dude. I'm telling you right now, you really think we're going to beat the Chargers and Raiders? I mean, those teams get it.
Oh, they definitely get it. So do teams like the Rams, the Tampa Bay,
Chiefs,
the Ravens,
the Chiefs,
the Colts.
It's gonna be even hard to beat people in our own division. This is the best division in football. I'm just not talking about Denver. I'm talking about Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs. Those three teams get it. Those three teams are looking at us when you have Colin Cowherd as we're the best team in the AFC or whatever. We're going to the Super Bowl. They're looking at that fucking idiot and going like, what the fuck? Because because that is your prototypical PR bullshit is what Colin Cowherd's doing. It's not this, again, you saw the Chargers make massive improvement in drafting and free agency. I mean, my God, you want to talk about defensive line play? I cannot wait to see Sheldon Joseph Day go up against Lloyd Cushenberry. It's going to be an abusive party in that. And then you're going to have Khalil Mack go against Garrett Bowles, or Billy Turner. Holy shit!
Well, you're gonna get that early. I mean, first they got to try to figure it out in Seattle. Then they get the Texans. They get a little break with the Texans, and then all of a sudden they get the Raiders. They get San Francisco. That's going to be It's going to be interesting to see how that Bronco offensive line holds up to that team.
Yeah,
the Raiders, who's licking their chops, who can't wait to play the Broncos.
And then you got the Colts with
then you're turning around and you went to Las Vegas, and now you're getting the Colts.
Yeah. Dude, Matt Ryan is going to have all day behind that pocket.
Yeah. Well, here you go, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, not just is going to have all day, but look at where he's going. It's just going to be easy peasy.
Well, yeah, and then you have that defense with DeForest fucking Buckner, who I've been wanting for years from the Niners. Dude, again, you don't think defensive linemen are valuable? The Colts traded a first-round pick for DeForest Buckner, a defensive tackle.
Do they get it? They
fucking get it.
I just can't wait. I can't wait to see this guy go. Yeah, just abuse the offensive line. You know what? If they got some decent coverage linebacking, take that first read away.
And you want to talk about, you were talking about San Francisco. Isn't it week 3 they played San Francisco at home?
Pretty. This is correct. That would be correct. Yes.
Okay, week 3 against San Francisco at home with Javon Kinlaw, one of the Bosa brothers, a healthy Eric Armstead, and then you have that rotation of that defensive line there too in San Francisco. You got Fred Warner, who is the best middle linebacker in football. who's going to neutralize that middle. And then you have the offense for San Francisco with that offensive line. Oh God, no. Yeah, Randy Gregory is going to do wonders against Trent Williams, the top two, one of the best left tackles in football. Trent Williams, that guy, right?
No, they won't. No, you don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that.
Nick Burrito is going to do great against Mike McGlinchey, a top 10 right tackle. Yeah. Alex Singleton and Josie Jewell are going to do wonders against George Kittle, the tight end. Woo-hoo-hoo. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
Worse than last year.
Yeah. They just never wanted to talk about how they lost their games.
No, they don't, because they think that they lost it because of Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, which wasn't the fucking case.
Well, it was far from the case. The Raiders.
Well, I mean, fucking Mark Davis is dancing in at Pat Bowlen's fucking stadium.
Yeah. I put the Benny Hill music together. The clown show music.
Run right up the middle against that defense, and it was worse than the Browns game.
Well, they could run as much as they wanted to. They could throw as much as they wanted to. No problemo. And that was wasn't that with the interior lineman they didn't want to get rid of?
Yeah.
Purcell?
Yeah. And Draymond Jones just doing his thing.
I know. And I got video of Draymond Jones, one hand, and they just want to sit there and on their lazy ass, there on their lazy, non-film watching ass, and cheerlead these bad players on and on and on. You want to talk about lazy? There's nothing more lazy than everybody saying the same thing over and over and over and refusing to see what's in front of them. That's laziness.
Yeah. I've been hearing for 3 to 4 years now that Draymond Jones is going to have his breakout year.
Judy's going to have his break. All this because they're too lazy to be critical. Yeah. We got to cut. Yes. Once this thing falls apart, they are done. They are never going to speak on this channel again. They will be purged because I'm just not putting up with this stupidity any longer.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to just continue another 8 more, another year of ranting on about this, that, and the other thing, and then the whole thing going south on them, I'm not going to have anything to do with them. They can just stay where they are in their toxicity. That's what makes them toxic, is they can't change. They cannot change. Like you, Alec Jones, you sat there and say, oh, you guys are just set in your ways. Yeah, it'd be different if the Broncos weren't, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting a different result. Oh, they got a quarterback this time. Yeah, another guy that they're going to get killed. Because you guys just didn't want to deal with, building up the offensive line. Matter of fact, speaking of, we said that Drew Lock went to the better organization. Didn't they kind of work on that offensive line for Lock? Am I wrong to think about it too? Didn't they make an upgrade to that offensive line?
Yeah.
Which actually was better than the Broncos offensive line.
Yeah, they got Austin Beeline, who's a very good center in this league when he can play. Charles Cross, the best pass protecting left tackle coming out in this year's draft. I mean, you got to be fucking kidding me.
And then he can slice and dice. He can slice and dice this crap defense.
And has the better receivers than Denver does. DK Met.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cutting all you people out. I'm done with you people. I'm done. I'm going to cut them out before you. I'm done. I'm just done with the bullshit. I'm done with it.
Well, they do get the New York Jets, but they have to fly to London to get Jacksonville. Now, Jacksonville, there was a...
Is that going to be a cakewalk in London?
Well, didn't they struggle with them? Didn't they struggle with them when they played them last time?
Trevor Lawrence was your typical... Trevor Lawrence had all day the throwback there and still missed players.
I mean, I couldn't believe him. If he can get away with, if he can get over that, if he can actually.
Well, we have to understand he was a rookie, so if he got better in the offseason and took coaching, and I'm behind that offensive line. Oh my god! And what did they do in the draft? They got Chad Muma, linebacker out of Wyoming, who I wanted so bad. Devin Lloyd from Utah. I mean, oh my god! Like their defense in terms of their front seven is, oh my god. With Devon Hamilton, and you got and then you got Josh Allen and Kavion Chase on, like, oh my god.
They get it? You're saying they get it too?
Well, they get it on the defensive side of the ball. And then they brought in, and then they got Trevon Walker to put on that defensive line, the very first pick in the draft, who's your prototypical 3-4 defensive end 3-tech, who they're going to be running a 3-4 defense, I believe, there in Jacksonville still, because they ran one last year. So again, there was a lot of chatter that they wanted Evan Neal, and the deciding factor is, well, we want to get that push up the middle. And I'm like, okay, hey, you know what? Either one's good. So good luck, Denver. Good luck, Lloyd Cushenberry. Good luck, Graham Glasgow. Good luck, Dalton Reisner. Good luck.
Yeah, because their bantering back and forth really means something when it comes at the end of the day up against these guys.
That's why the other fans in the league take you people seriously.
Not.
They think you're fucking stupid.
They do.
I have plenty of fans that are not.
They'll see.
Yeah, I've been hearing. Even they've been hearing it. I've been hearing it for 7 fucking years that you'll see. Okay.
Yeah,
and look,
I know.
You said this was a playoff caliber roster last year. Oh, we didn't have the quarterback. Another fucking.
Okay, wait. So you're telling me
there's a chance?
No, you're telling me that those losses was strictly on the quarterback. On the quarterback. Yep. No, Fangio. You got a whole brand new coaching staff that's totally unproven.
Who kept that defense together with chicken shit? Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I said. If you go look at the Raider shellacking and then the Raven shellacking, and he shored up that middle with Kenny Young, Bryce Callahan, and all that's been just tore down. Arrogantly tore down.
Yep.
It's going to be brutal. Week 1, when Drew Lock is dicing and slicing that excuse for a defense.
You're just trying to find excuses for Drew Lock.
I mean, I'm going to say the same thing when it comes to in the Colts game.
Matt Ryan just having all day to throw, reading War and Peace back there.
Yep. Reading War and Peace, and then dicing and slicing this porous.
You know what game that's going to remind me of is the Buffalo Bills 2 years ago in Denver. I think that's what it's going to remind me of. It's going to be a butt whooping.
Yeah.
I think that 3-game stretch is going to show you what this team's made of. That 3 start with the Niners, Raiders, and the Colts.
Brace for impact. Oh, I bet you they said that. Oh, this is soft. I bet you they said that. Oh, the Colts, we got this one, right? Just like they said with the Raiders, we got this one, right?
Yeah.
Seattle's in the bag, right? That game's in the bag, right?
Yep. Pretty much. We heard it last year.
Yeah, good luck.
This team sucks.
Well, the arrogance will, and the PR is only going to take, they win the offseason every year. It's 17-0 in the offseason with them. I'm waiting for the subscriptions to go down during the season. But if they go 9-8, it's a victory. It's Super Bowl ARs. It's 9-8, they've made a major milestone.
Yep.
Those would be 9 tough games to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, we got Russell Wilson, so that's all that matters.
Lying in bed, just like Russell Wilson did.
What's up, boss?
Yo, what's up, boss? He exists. He exists.
We've been saying that for 2 fucking years.
Look at, he's riding shotgun in the draft.
Yeah, he's riding on his scooter in the hallway. Let's ride.
So tell me, what is it exactly you do?
Not wrong.
No.
You guys are just negative set in your ways.
Yeah. Well, I guess, if we were wrong, I guess then, the Broncos would be this team to be reckoned with. So you got Tennessee after the bye, then you got to deal with the Raiders again. You get lucky and get Carolina, but you're in Carolina. Then you got to go. Then you got to go to Baltimore. Then Kansas City. Oh, they've already. I heard them. Tyler Paloma's already poo-pooing Arizona.
Okay, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, the same guy that's overrating the offensive line. If you need an offensive line overrating, he's the guy for you.
Yeah, this offensive line's good enough.
Yeah, just good enough. That's what we heard last year, too. It was just good enough. Just good enough to get the quarterback kill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, just good enough to get him killed.
Just good enough.
Oh, don't worry. Russell Wilson, he can scramble around. Yeah, but when I watch film, every bit of film I ever see, he's better looking straight down in the pocket, throwing. His completion ratio is up here. Once he starts running around, it just goes right down. Yep. Just don't watch film. Don't watch film. Whatever you do.
Yeah, don't.
Don't watch film. So what happens when Chuckles, our head coach, Mr. Clowning around, when that 17-0 offseason turns around and bites him in the ass?
They're just going to run for the hills, and then we'll hear him next year.
All this happy clowning around. Is somebody going to say maybe Fangio was at least into X's and O's?
No, whatever you say, don't mention Fangio unless it's negative.
Yeah, unless it's negative. So
these fans are stupid. I'm done with these fans. I'm done with this organization. Until they get a real owner, I ain't taking anything this team does seriously. I'm sorry.
Like I said, if this thing implodes, I'm going to demand. I will just be on this thing getting that front office cleared out, all that riffraff out of there. I will demand cutting their media, this media payroll, this outside crap, cutting that all off too.
Yeah, Indianapolis and Dallas beat reporters out of this fucking thing. Get them out of here. They suck at their job.
Yeah. You're not getting anywhere by just patting yourself on the back, Dove Valley, paying your PR lackeys to just say everything you did that's the problem with what's out there. All you hear is the same thing. Dove Valley cannot do wrong. How great they, just constantly. As every year, it's just a disaster.
Yep.
They lucked out and got Wilson, but I don't see that they really gave him very much help.
Nope.
Receivers. And then finally somebody has the courage to say, well, when we put them up against all these other receivers, they're like not even in the same conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, how dare they?
Yes. This team sucks.
Yeah, well, they didn't do anything really. Like I said, Dulwich, I still don't even get that. Nobody's explained it to me. They just
They won't. Oh, in the highlight reel, he does this catch in this area. They won't explain to you in a objective point of view why this was a good pick. They won't say, hey, This is what he does great, and I've already explained all this shit to you. If you want to go watch that, go watch my film review. Oh, well, did you watch him in person? Then don't knock it off, Internet Scout.
Well, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is he's number 3.
I watch somebody in person when I can get film.
He may get rotated, and then how many plays are going to go to the tight end? It's going to be very interesting because I think that, week 1, I think what they're going to want to do is just like bombs away, bombs away, bombs away. And when that offensive line rears its ugly head again.
Yep.
And when that defense that can be exploited in the middle rears its ugly head again.
It's just going to be the same shit this year. It's going to be the same song. We did it last year.
Yeah, this time with a different quarterback.
Pretty much.
And we're going to be called into action to defend Russell Wilson.
Oh, just like Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater and Case Keenum, Flacco.
Yeah. See, if Russell Wilson loses to Drew Lock, that's all you're going to hear. But you're not going to hear that. Well, we've been saying Lock went to the better organization, had the better of the deal.
And then you'll have James Marilat and I'll have, he sucks. Russell Wilson sucks.
Eventually. Oh, who's going to be beating that horse is going to be
Stokely.
Stokely. I had a see. Remember, you said there was a guy you didn't believe he was a Seattle fan. I believe he was a commenter because he did agree to one thing, hands down. And I said, you can't. Russell Wilson would be insane to sign a 2-year deal with, sign beyond his 2 years with the Denver Broncos. That he needs to wait it out and explore all his options after his 2 years. And he agreed. He said, I totally agree with that. I wouldn't hitch my wagon to this thing. I'd at least meet the owner, talk to the new owner. So they've kind of let that conversation die out. How about Wilson's extension? Don't want to talk about that no more, huh? Yeah, we got to get him signed. We got to get him. Well, if he's smart, he's not going to sign.
Oh, God. Another day, another fucking week of stupidity in Denver Broncos country.
Oh, yeah, Judy. Yeah, you were going to talk about Judy.
I mean, there's really nothing to talk about. He's a fucking idiot. So I've been right on that pick. No one's been. Explain to me what Jerry Jeudy does that helps this offense. Well, he runs great routes. Well, he also drops the ball and he's inconsistent catching the football. So.
Well, the fact is, last year I don't know if dropping the ball was his big deal. He he evaporated. There was no.
He's a knucklehead. He's a knucklehead. He wants all the attention. He wants all the glory. Motherfucker, look at Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey before you come on here and say that you're fucking up there with those players. I do not want to hear anything from you. Put in the hard work and prove me wrong, okay? Stop with this fucking media bullshit, Jerry Jeudy. Go look at Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey tape and get back to me when you fucking watch that shit.
Yeah.
You moron. Even go watch Demaryius Thomas tape. Please.
This is an Elway pick.
I told everybody that was going to be the wrong pick. You're just wrong. You're an internet scout.
Everybody said you were wrong. You were lazy. You were wrong.
And it's, been 2-3 years later, and look at it. It's been shit.
Yeah. You can't make it up.
Yep.
All right. Well, another day of pissing off the delusional fan base.
Yeah. Rico, bye. Fucker.
All right. Is there anything else on the radar? Nope. We just got to wait it out. I would like to get. I have a next video with a guy from the Saints. The Saints fan explained the push up the middle. Explain. Remember, you said all these teams are figuring it out, getting all these interior.
Yep.
Which is bolstering the edges. Yeah. He'd like to do a chronology about how they used to be like the Broncos. Sean Payton was just like, the Bronco. edges, receivers, corners, and then until I started building that interior, that's when everything changed. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So anyway, okay, let's go ahead and wrap it up and just wait and see.
Wait and see.
Yeah. Dumbasses.
I know.
Take care.
You too. Bye.